Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to my quick little review to add to the playlist of the Gimzmoplex reactions. Or actually, I just had an idea, maybe I'll just sew this together on the Gamera episode. That might make more sense. So you're probably seeing this with the Gamera episode right now. I'm actually streaming currently on Twitch tonight, the night of Friday, July 8th. So, we were watching other shorts anyway, including a new Rift Track short, and we got a shout out in the chat that the new Joel short had just premiered today, Sleep for Health. So we're also going to watch that on stream, but because it's my first time seeing it, we thought we'd also record it and have the reaction for you guys here on YouTube. If you don't follow me on Twitch, you really should, because it's really fun over there. I stream every Monday, and I'm trying to get into weekend streaming like today. So we will just get right on into it. Okay, Sleep for Health. Joel and the Bots watch a short about the very different sleeping habits of two children, with riffs written by the backers during a riffing workshop with Joel in 2017. Holy crap. That's a long time ago. Have they been sitting on this that long? Or do they mean that they brought those people back to do this and they were in the riffing workshop back then? Bizarre. Okay, anyway, Sleep for Health. They do take a while to get into the short sometimes.
For none other than Joel Robinson, and it's
I didn't know Joel was going to get a short, so that's interesting.
Oh, yes, thank you, we've got movie signs!
This also doesn't, lore-wise, though, it makes no sense, because he shouldn't have any bots with him, because they're Emily's bots. Just saying, make the lore make sense. Oh, hey, Easter Bunny Films presents.
But to keep the balance, someone must go.
We see that wallpaper in a lot of these shorts, actually. I actually did not sleep as literally as a newborn. I would not sleep. That is the ugliest couch I've ever seen in my life.
A cat that eats lasagna.
What a wonderful thing sleep is.
It's not. It's boring, and I hate it. I was about to say, like, let's get a riff in there, boys.
Don't know when.
I woke up unnaturally once. I had a squirrel tail and a little hat and everything.
Wait, who's in charge now, alarm clock?
This is pretty boring, guys. This one is doing nothing for me, really.
Well, gotta run, Mom and Dad, but this has been pleasant and unhurried.
Even Joel's voice sounds weaker in this than in his episode. Am I nuts?
Guys, I'm really worried. What happened to the baby?
That's like the best thing that came out of it was Crow being like, hey wait, there was a baby in this once. That wasn't very good. Okay, listen to me. Because I know, for those on Twitch, this video's not up yet for the people watching live, so you're not going to understand what I'm saying, I guess, yet. Because you've not seen these videos of mine yet. The Joel episode to me was kind of a final straw in being like, if I didn't make videos about these shows, and if I hadn't already paid for the whole season at once, I probably wouldn't keep watching the new episodes. So, but before we get into Gamera, which we will here on this video if you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, the only reason I'm really continuing at this point is because I paid for it, so I'm making the videos, B, I'm paying for it. Like, that's it. Like, if I was buying these one at a time, or did not make videos, I'd be like, because it's just kind of stopped. Which sucks, because I went into this season hoping it would be good. I wanted to like this new crew a lot. I wanted to be excited for Joel coming in. And like I said, I think Emily and the crew did start to improve by Dr. Mordred, but it's not like a super great laugh of mile episode. And then with Joel's, it actually went really good for the first few minutes, and then it just like, and just stops, and I don't understand it. Like, look, I am completely open. I want this season to only get better. I want that. And I know a lot of people, because I get comments that are like, I got a comment that was like, you're out of line, like, blah, blah, blah. And if you think that I am, that's your own opinion, and that's fine too. But it's like, if we don't agree, also, I see a bunch of people being like, well, I actually like the new one, sorry, or I like Kelsey's voice. That's fine. Do not apologize to me. I'm not upset at anyone for liking the stuff I dislike, and vice versa, you know? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's just that I, you know, this, it's just that they have so much experience from this. I just feel like, for instance, if you look at the OG series, you had KTMA, they had no money, no time. Of course, a lot of it isn't going to be as great. They ad-libbed the whole thing back then. Season 1, a marked improvement, still rough, but it was their first season on cable television and the first season for many, many people that were coming into the writer's room and into the casting stuff to be going forward. Then you had Season 2. The biggest mark improvement in the show is from Season 1 to Season 2 of the original run. And these guys had their sea legs. Mike was head writer all of a sudden after just being a typist. And the show really comes together in Season 2. And if anything, just keeps getting better through most seasons onwards. Season 5 and the sci-fi seasons are some of the absolute strongest you're going to get. And so here you have Joel, you have some people that have been behind it that have now had 2.5 seasons. To now, granted, yes, one was extraordinarily short, but this is the creator of the show, right? We've had 20 Netflix episodes, and then an additional now 6 plus some shorts, finally, episodes on the Gimzmoplex, 7th now with the one you'll be seeing in a moment here. It just feels like this group can't snag it. They have episodes that are good. There's an Avalanche, a Beast of Hollow Mountain, a Carnival Magic. Like, there are good episodes, or episodes at least that I like. I know there are episodes that might not be my favorite, but a lot of people like them, like Cry Wilderness. They are good episodes. But there's so many of these currently 26 plus episodes that just go from mediocre to bad. Regardless of the money, regardless of the sets, regardless of the host segments, take all that crap out. Some of you guys, I won't say you guys, if you're a normal follower, you probably don't mind this, but like, a lot of people have said, don't talk about the money, don't talk about the green screens, blah, 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 it's all about the riffs, I'm only here for the riffs. And that's fine. Let's look at the riffs. Why in 26 episodes are there so many that are just weak-ass episodes? I don't get it. There's so many that don't work, that over-riff, or now we're starting to under-riff, and I'm like, where's the middle? You know what I mean? That they could be finding themselves in. Even if they were just consistently pleasant, that would be fine. If they were consistently, like, Season 2 levels of riffing, that would be great. But they're not. They completely vacillate, and I don't know what's going on. It's just tough. Because I don't want to be saying this stuff. It doesn't make me excited to come on here and complain about something that I love having stuff that I don't like. But yeah, like going into the Gamera episode, like, I'm excited that they're doing a Gamera episode, and I want to see them do it. However, we've had fan episodes that are good. We've had fan episodes that seem consistent with the OG, more consistent with the OG series than this new season. That should not be happening. That's just the thing. I'm glad there are fans out there that are so in love with it, love it so much, can do so much with it. That's absolutely great. But if you're better than the creator, like, what happened, you know? It does suck. And, like, yeah, like, in the chat right now, Roy says, it's a shame, because Jonah and Emily are great hosts, but they're let down by the actual episodes. That's the thing. And I'm not even saying, oh, Kelsey and Connor aren't good overall. That's the thing. I think all of these guys have the potential to be great riffers, but they're pigeonholed in these bad representations of the characters and the show at this point. But we can't just look at everything with rose-colored nostalgia glasses, you know? It's easy to do, but, like, I try so hard not to do it. Same with riff tracks, though. I have criticized riff tracks. I have said that this year, it is disappointing. They're asking for the same amount of money as the last Kickstarter, but last time we had 2 movies, this year we have 1. I have openly criticized that. I think then you either need to do more movies or lower the Kickstarter, because you know you're going to make it for sure. I have criticized that, and I will continue to do so, like, with that kind of stuff. But this Mystery Science is just, there's just so much to criticize, unfortunately, and I hate it. Like, I wish this was great. A great thing that it has given, at least for me, the character of Jonah is great, especially in the first season of his. Very, very, very good, and I'll always have that to go with. But otherwise, it's like, it doesn't really give you much that Riff Tracks and the OG series cannot easily fulfill. That's just my thoughts on it. So we'll get into Gamera here on YouTube. Now will be an awkward cut to a future day because it's only July 8th and it's still like 2 weeks before the Gamera episode comes out. So I will see you then. Alright, and we're back after that little Joel short from Twitch from a few days ago. I know this was riffed by some fans, by the same people that I did a reaction once to one of their Gamera episodes on Brandzant Films. So Brandzant had commented on the Mystery Science Theater page on my Discord a video called MST3k Gamera vs. Jiger, Similarities, A Tale of Two Riffs. So if you're interested, you can go to my Discord or on YouTube to look that up. And he said, kind of a trip to see so many similarities between our fan-made app from a couple years back and the real McCoy. Don't think I ever need to see this film again, lol. And I said, and I fully still believe this, I said, man, I'll have to watch this one once I watch the new episode to see how close this is. I feel like if you're going to riff something that already has a complete riff, including fan-made, you should watch that to compare with your script. Rudy is laying right behind me, snoozing, and now he's getting up. What? There he goes. You steal my pillow like you always do? No, he's just getting cozy. Okay, anyway, let's read the description here. In the theater, the crew watches as the excavation of an ancient statue awakens the centuries-old Jiger, and only Gamera can save the day. From 1970. Meanwhile, on the moon, Pearl tries to convince Kinga to take a little vacation. I could not care less at this point about their relationship. Like, last thing was that she hated Kinga, and then she was proud of her for trying to force someone into marriage. And I don't remember anything about them in season 12, if there was anything. So now the fact that Kinga is like, I don't want your approval, I want you to leave me alone. I'm like, huh? What was the point of all that stuff in season 11? Like, okay. So, again, I fully admit that I could be forgetting something in season 12, but I mentioned it on stream once, and I was like, did anything happen after that wedding? And no one mentioned anything, so I'm like, girl, like, what do you want? What do you want, Kinga? Okay, and it's a Jonah episode. Jonah getting to the Gamera episode is pretty cool. I'm kind of glad they didn't let this be the Joel episode and let one of, like, the newer people take it. So, as I've said, I think I mentioned it in the part with the short, but maybe that was cut. I don't know. So, I really, really hope that this episode is good, because thus far, of the original 6 episodes that have come out at this point, I only think Munchie is worth your time and money, even if you're just renting these, and I only think Let's Make a Meal in 20 Minutes is worth the money or time for even the shorts. And that's the shortest one, so, you know, we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping it's good. But even the first 2 Jonahs, I'm like, I wouldn't spend money on it again. Like, I'm probably never going to watch them again, especially after having to edit those videos. So, you know, they were pleasant enough to watch once, but I'm not like, oh, you guys need to watch these, you guys need to rent them, you know, even rent them. Only if you're a completionist at this point. So, hopefully, that is not the case for Gamera. Okay. Let's go. If they don't do a version of the Gamera theme song, I'm going to be kind of mad.
I truly am proud of what you've been able to accomplish. You are? Well, of course I am.
Okay, so now are you happy that she likes you?
You've gone above and beyond this family's legacy of cruel and unusual entertainment.
Okay, oh, for God's sake. Okay, hang on.
Nothing but ashes.
Pause. Okay, Alright. If they're gonna include lore, we're gonna talk about the effing lore, alright? Stop patting yourself on the back. Okay? Kinga is, I'm sorry, nothing against Felicia Day and nothing against Patton Oswalt in this context, but in the context of this show specifically, they're not that good. They're not that fun or entertaining. So to have Pearl, to have Mary Jo Peel's character when she is so good, it's like they are. You're helping the legacy, blah blah. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Like, that's the difference is she doing more and capturing more people technically than the others? Fine. but she's nowhere near as entertaining a character as any of the other Mads have ever been. The only one I could see, like, okay, yeah, is, like, maybe, Dr. Earhart, just because the voice was annoying, but, like, and it was season 1, so it's, you know, again, just like these seasons, kind of poor writing for some of the host segment stuff, but I'm like, you know, from the OG Mads to the sci-fi season Mads, I'm just like, they're not even in the same, they're not even on the same planet, guys. They're not even on the same planet in terms of quality. Now, I think a lot of that comes down to the writing, not the performers necessarily, but it's like, they're not funny. 98% of the time, they're not funny. And it just doesn't work. And, you know, I've started getting other people, like, commenting that it's like, yeah, they're just not good characters. So for them to just pat her on the back and be like, oh, you're doing so good at this legacy, I'm just like, that is like, shut up. Like, you can't be saying, oh, look how good we're doing. Like, unless, I feel like you can't say that stuff unless you can put your money where your mouth is and you can prove it. Like, I've said this before. I think I said this on the last stream. So if you weren't there, you wouldn't have heard it, I guess. That they stopped doing this after the first, like, year or two. The beginning of every MP3 riff tracks, every riff tracks that was just the jokes, the little narrator at the beginning would be like, you know, and now the riff master himself, Michael J. Nelson, and they took that out. They took out his title of the riff master. But here's the thing. If we're talking riff master, as in they can write them and they can tell them, then God damn it, there's no more riffmaster out there than Michael J. Nelson, because he is the one. Like, and I'm sick of pretending, of, like, not saying this for, like, years through all the Netflix seasons. I, like, kept my mouth as shut as possible most of the time, but it's like, and now I've said it a couple times because I'm sick of acting like this isn't true. That Mike is such a linchpin in most riffing situations, you know. You know who else is a linchpin in it? His wife, because the other good stuff is Bridget and Mary Jo's, which Mike does not seem to help write on those based on the credits on the pages. So really, you need a Nelson. You need a Nelson in your writer's room, or it's not gonna freaking work. I think even one of their sons helps write the Bridget Mary Jo ones. You need at least 1 to 2 Nelsons in your camp if your stuff's gonna be good. And I think that them calling Mike the riff master, especially now after seeing what happens when you go off completely without him 100%, you know, in twice, Cinematic Titanic and now this, fully shows that Michael J. Nelson is the riff master, and I'm tired of pretending he's not. And with these, to be like, oh, you're just such a good character, our legacy, blah, blah, blah. Dude, it just, like, shut up. Like, don't pat yourself on the back for writing this character who is not anything, who's like a blip in the Mystery Science universe, you know, that you're trying to make a thing. It's like, stop trying to make Kinga and Max happen. They're not going to happen. Like, really, originally I was just going to pause it to say, now you want Pearl's attention? She was giving you attention in, like, the first few episodes, and you're like, leave me alone. And now you're happy. They can't even keep their own characters straight in the same 6 episodes. The same, like, half done, what, 7 now? 7 episodes? And you can't keep your, like, 10 minutes worth of lore of Kinga straight in this season alone. Guys, I'm just tired of it. Like, for them to act like, yeah, we have lore and story, and we're gonna, like, do cliffhangers, and we're gonna have Kinga have, like, this, technically, I guess, an arc, and then I'm sick of it. I do not like it. Some people, obviously, will definitely disagree with me. I've had people unsub because of my thoughts on this Kickstarter program and all this for this season, and that's fine. But I feel like I've been overall really nice to the Netflix seasons, and then I went in with as open a mind as I possibly could with the Gimzmoplex for real. And, you know, I, like, 3 strikes and you're out, man. 3 strikes and you're out. These seasons and these characters, for the most part, aren't that funny or interesting or whatever. The golden goose of this to me is just the way they've written Jonah as a character. Because, again, the vibes that I needed as a child in media to have a smart but openly emotional, nerdy person that I did not have. And Jonah plays it perfectly. That's it. There's nothing else that they're doing here. There's just so little that's on par with everything else. They insist on adding lore and all that stuff, and I'm like, again, Mystery Science did not always have good lore in it at all. Season 6 has some pretty weak host segments, and Season 8 has some very weak and confusing host segments because they had sci-fi required them to do a storyline. But that's the thing, it just proves Mystery Science is not built for a full season storyline. They're built for a storyline in one episode. Like, in Time Chasers, it's mostly connected to just that one episode that's really good. Or the one where they do the cheating short, I think that's Batwoman, and Crow cheats on an essay. Like, that's a really good, like, the What to Do on a Date, like, those are really good single episode story arcs. But when you have to make it a season, it doesn't work. And so, like, again, they're not even keeping straight in this season. To hell with the Netflix seasons. Let's say this is the first season of these new ones that you're watching. Why does Kinga suddenly care about Pearl liking her when she didn't 3 episodes ago? I don't understand it. And then again, for Pearl to be like, oh, you're doing such a great job. I'm like, shut up. You can't puff up a character you've written unless they've fully earned it. And I'm like, it also, adding the other riffers wasn't even Kinga's idea. So even in the lore of it, take out the comedy, take out the fact that she isn't an entertaining mad, like, at all. Take out that completely. It was Dr. Cabal that told her to do it. So why should I give Kinga any credit about any of this? She's not entertaining. She and Max are not entertaining. This wasn't their idea. So for the show to puff her up in any way, I'm like, shut the f*** up. You did not earn this. You should know you didn't earn this. Especially not to have Mary Jo's character say this when Mary Jo is hilarious in the show, in the OG show, in Rift Tracks now. Mary Jo is an entertaining mad. I can't take it. I can't handle it. I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I'm like, we haven't even started the episode, and I am just like, we haven't even gotten to the satellite, and I'm just like, dear God, I can't do this anymore. I'm just, I just feel like all of us have given it so long to work. I don't get it, man.
I know. My test subjects are nice, but they're not mine. No. I'm worried that you may be pushing yourself too hard.
Was that them admitting that Mike was really good? I understand. Okay, look, I think the point of that line was probably to say that that in Kinga's mind, Pearl just was never going to be happy and be like, well, my test subject was always the best one. I believe that's all they were trying to say with that line. But I'm like, so I'm like, actually, oh man, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure the intention with that was just that Pearl would always say Mike was the best because he was hers. But holy shit, man, I mean, she wouldn't be wrong at this point. Oh man, I'm almost surprised they let that line in the script because Joel is one of these 3 subjects. I'm shocked that he let that line in, to be honest. I mean, even though, again, it's more her thinking of how her grandmother's going to criticize her, but I'm like, okay, just, all right. Oh, man. Having a line that implies that literally anyone, even just a character, would prefer Mike over these people, I'm like, I don't know if that's the intention. I don't think it was, but I'm like, let's try speaking for the audience. to have her say, implying that any character might actually like Mike better than all these guys. I'm like, do you really want to invoke his name at this point? Maybe you shouldn't. Now, first, 3-4 episodes of this season, she's like, Grandma, leave me alone. I don't want you around here. Just go hang out with Cynthia. And now she's like, I wrote you a grandma, that's great. And I'm like, why are you so inconsistent? What is happening? See, that's why Kinga frustrates me as a character. Again, I think Felicia could do so well, but they just write her so poorly. They don't make her that funny, and they don't even make her consistent from episode to episode in one season. One. I don't understand it.
So you step through the door of the murder manor.
Is that a choose your own adventure?
Boy, I hope I don't get murdered. Oh, hey everyone.
That's so cute.
I think the murder did it.
Oh, I don't know, maybe we'll see.
I had a ton of those as a kid.
Do over. Let's go talk to the caretaker guy.
Okay.
He's just gonna murder you.
Hold on, Simon and Schuster are calling.
That was a really cute open. Okay, here we go. Gamera with the newer crew.
God, please enjoy.
Yeah, it did sound like that.
Corn job!
Like Ruben stuttered.
Its purpose remains a mystery.
Like the Cats movie.
All right, let's go.
The purpose was to be Oscar bait. It just failed tremendously.
And cut. Cut! I said cut!
Yeah, you can show people in buildings without showing them enter the buildings. Oh, I'm sure this will be really nice and sensitive.
He just goes on telling a lot of stories and ancient sayings about his ancestors and a curse on the statue.
Well,
You're an archaeological expert. He might trust you. You must get him to...
Dude, I'm sorry. If a guy is telling you, hey, don't move this, there'll be a curse, maybe you just don't move it. Maybe you just deal with something else.
Well, if there's one group of people who've never done damage to sacred objects, it's archaeologists.
Mm-hmm. Never learned nothing from Indiana Jones.
that's Gamera.
Shut your Midwestern plaid shirt wearing mouth.
What are you going to do? Mama, he's our friend. Gamera's here to protect us, that's all.
Wait, that kid knows, but his mom doesn't. What?
Kermit's had a bad year.
Shoot at that unkillable monster!
Yeah, what are their guns? What are those type of guns even gonna do to this thing? I'm sorry, Gamera has such a history of helping the human race at this point.
Barrel gun stuck in a well?
That's the thing. It's like, after the first movie, sure, I could see why you wouldn't trust Gamera. After the last 4...
You see, the negative space in this shot is meant to symbolize the emotional distance between Gamera and the people trying to kill Gamera.
Oh.
Man, film bros.
Gamera's...
A four-legged little boy!
Antwoord, origin story.
The geodesic dome of the butterfly of change through the growth of the beauty of metamorphosis and peace for all humankind.
The Epcot
Where a
ball.
combination of animal...
Wow, a chance to hear from one of the great voices of yesteryear before he vanishes into the dust of history.
Yeah! Wait.
And as a
Yeah, that was pretty good.
piece of resistance.
Jiger's all like, why don't we put a pin in this?
Sheesh.
That monster's stronger than anything I've seen. It could have destroyed that
They
statue
live in a
one day.
world where Gamera exists, and people know Gamera exists, right? So when that one guy's like, hey, there's a curse, don't move the statue, why would they not have believed him?
For the children!
If you think about it, this is, like, really gross and horrific.
Gamera flies like a plane. He likes pleasure mixed with pain. Never changing Gamera.
There we go. We have to take part in these lame
Time for Gamera
experiments.
to draw inward,
Do
find
we
his center, and
complain?
refocus.
No, no, yes! So we keep all over the place and talk of 1,000 wonderful days.
Where does his head go?
This has been pretty boring, and not a lot of laughing, not a lot for Gamera.
Yeah, bringing in more boats to fight the monster whose specialty is destroying boats.
Yeah! Didn't you just blow up like 3?
Whoa! What? There was
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Prequel to Takashi Miike's edition.
That's pretty intense. That's like in Teenagers from Outer Space with that skeleton gun.
I heard you hated me. Maybe say it to my face next time.
Yeah.
Well, core jobs will try a little hard.
Let them go! The city's blowing up!
Yes, please, take your time. No rush, Gamera.
Yeah, he's just killing people by the millions.
I do. I think about it day and night. It's only,
It's only right.
So happy together.
The-
Get it? It's the turtles.
I do.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
More carnage and destruction, Daddy!
Yeah, she went from like, man, absolutely hate Gamera to be like, kill him, drain his blood.
The blood fills me with delight!
For the love of the children is fickle. You have it, then it disappears. They'll love you and leave
Yeah.
you tomorrow, as soon as...
Gamera's the friend of all children. Of that the
Is this
whole
completely
world
made up,
can
or
agree.
are these parody lyrics of an actual, like, musical number?
Who gives their friend... Yeah, get that workout in, Gamera. Respect the
Hey,
grind.
I should write Gamera the musical.
Oh no, we're going to rock down to Electric Avenue. And then
We take it higher.
But Gamera's dead.
And loving it.
Gamera's dead. He's off to a better place. His problems are over. We still gotta get through this. The heck?
No. Oh, wait.
Do you need to see this?
Okay, well,
No,
I'm out of here.
stay. If I have to watch this, you have to watch this.
Oh
bro.
no!
You
Oh
don't have to
god!
watch
No! Why? Oh, that's why.
Hot ramen?
Ew! No.
That's lunch.
this. Oh, great! She must have the results of our physicals.
Ask about my midichlorian count.
The last time, midichlorians don't exist.
How do you know that?
Well, hold on. GPC-1, did you always have a complete skeleton?
Nope, I got it secondhand. How's it look, Doctor?
Oh my god, the puppetry always sucks on this gypsy.
Servo, you have bones too?
Yeah, mayonnaise. We were all jumping on the Pinocchio syndrome bandwagon last year. Anyway, how am I looking, Doc?
He had Pinocchio syndrome and like I accused my parents.
Last, let's turn to Jonah's exes, eh?
Oh no, he's a robot!
Jonah, you're...
Okay.
If it helps, you're a very soft robot.
It doesn't help, Crow.
What?
So,
What?
according to your family history, your birth father is, Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Oh, excuse me?
Mr. Run, it's time to feed the giant brain. Okay, dearie, time for no.
Okay, whoa, wait a minute.
Okay.
Rudy, stop scratching. This is important. Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me? Are we saying? No wonder he's so perfect. He's a robot. I should have known that from whatever episode it was. He started singing Suddenly Seymour and I think Carnival Magic. I should have known a character that perfect couldn't exist without being non-human. God damn it. A robot this whole time. Sad. Or at least half robot, I guess. What the hell? In a way, like, I'm like, that is really funny. In another way, I'm like, y'all don't give the internet that fodder, though. Do y'all know? Like, especially making it an animatronic, not normal robot dad, but an animatronic dad. I'm like, have y'all not seen the effed up side of the FNAF community that exists? Like, why would you even say that? Just, oh my god. I guarantee there's, like, some weird corner of the internet that's into that. Like, robot or animatronic. And that, oh god, why would you even... Like, on the one side, yes, it's very funny. On the other side, I'm like, bro, you don't realize what you've done. This is not going to go the way you think. Here's my question. Is that just a joke? Or are you going to make other jokes about it? Is it going to be semi-canon now? Because that's one of those jokes that could become a running thing that could be really, really funny, which I doubt they're going to do because it would be really funny, but I would like them to do it. Because that'd be pretty good. Man. You didn't even need to give the bots bones. Like, that was fine. I didn't care. But, like, you could have done whatever. But I'm just like, just the fact that you're like, oh, Jonah, you're half Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. I'm like, bruv? No wonder. No wonder he's ideal. He's not real. He's not a real person. Damn it. No character, not even a fictional character could be that perfect without being a robot. Damn it.
Oh, I get it. This is the subplot.
So, how huge is Gamera versus how tiny these kids are?
There's a funny smell, but there's air. Okay. Tell that to them back at headquarters.
What?
We're going to go outside the submarine right now. You both have courage to do what you're doing. Only stay on the alert.
Maybe stupidity.
You know what I mean?
Tommy, are you afraid?
No, not at all.
You should be.
Be very careful.
Watch out for snakes.
Yes, sir. You heard what he said? Yes, I heard.
Jeez.
Down, you old bag.
Yeah, what the?
Keep it down.
It's not even on.
Hello, command. Hello, command. This is detail A. The speakers have all been put up.
I do like that bang running joke.
Oh, this is the... He's kind of cute when he's not destroying an entire city.
There are ways to put annoying sounds like that in a movie and not have it actually annoy the audience that badly.
Gentlemen.
And they never saw Gamera again.
Everyone, come on.
That's the thing. All the time Gamera dies or nearly dies or gets passed out and immediately he has to be ready to fight again. That's what happens when you're hero to all children. Listen to me. The expo site is the least of your concerns.
Oh, ew, he just spit in his mouth.
Ew. They care so much more about this expo than, like, the
Take you from kaiju to kaiju.
On your left. Now the song's gonna be stuck in my head. I like playing it on the piano. Cause it sounds really, really nice. I don't feel bad for him. He stabbed Gamera a million
Personally,
times.
I think long-suffering deaths are fun in kids' movies.
Shit. We need to watch Gamera take the needles out of his limbs, okay? I don't feel bad for this dude at all.
Well, Doctor, now what about the statues?
Oh, well, I can always make a model of it to show.
You could have done that the whole time?
Yes, sir. We know all the answers to it.
But we were taught a lesson of our own from Gamma. That we adults must never lose a child's ability to imagine, and to hope,
Keep waving.
and to have faith.
It wasn't about imagining. It was about them just being right. They didn't imagine Gamera. Gamera existed. They knew Gamera existed.
Bye, no, Tommy, that's it. Bye, Tommy.
Oh my god. Holy sh. Okay. Look at Tom. Watch Tom lean. Watched lean.
Bye, Tommy.
He leaned out of the frame. But I can't. Guys, I can't. Even if you want to make any excuse you want for the bad effects in the host segments, fine. Whatever. If you think they're doing it on purpose, fine. Whatever. There's no way that was on purpose. If there's one thing that even the original had down really, really well effect-wise, it was the silhouettes. I mean, they could do jokes with the silhouettes. They could use props and things, and it worked. And it was the real silhouettes. It wasn't animated or whatever like these are. Or like, you know, whatever the heck it is that they do to get these to work. Because I know a lot of it is, like, that's why Tom can actually fly in, because it's like animated or whatever. You couldn't even be sure that Tom's seat is like wide enough, like the area where you're using the Tom is wide enough that it can lean and not go half out the effing frame. I just don't get it, man. You can give any excuse you want about the other host segment stuff. Host segment's literally a part of Mystery Science, but if you want to give excuses and stuff and let them have it like, oh, they're doing badly on purpose, maybe they are, fine. But the silhouettes, what the show is known for can't look good and be consistent. You even have to have that green screen fuck up. Come on. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's not even like, you can't even make an excuse like, well, they were on a time crunch, blah, 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 blah. This was their project. If they're under any time crunch, it's because they put themselves in it. Because they announced the Kickstarter post-2020. It was in 2020. They knew what was going on. So it can't be like, well, all this stuff happened, so they had to change the day, or the dates they were on the crunch. They came up with all that themselves. It's not like Netflix or cable where it's like it's on, you know, someone else's dime if you're late. It's like, I don't get it, man. Did you not have someone whose job it was to make sure the silhouettes look perfect? I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I can't understand. You know, I just lost my job. All right. And do you know what I would give to have the privilege to edit something like this, to work on this, to be an effects person on this? And the fact that they have so much support and so much money, and they have their crew, and they have their own timeline that they can make up, and they're still letting it look this crappy, is like, and again, not in a fun, charming, or cute way like the original. It just looks like you don't give a fuck. And I am so tired of it. I am so tired of it. I mean, I understand why the Mads system, like the Mads set, has to be green screen, because it's a giant window that rotates. I get it. But when you can see multiple episodes now, her collar going green screen, and you can see right through her. When you get into the theater, and Tom can't even lean this much without his body glitching out of existence. That just is the worst. You know, it just really feels like you don't care. And I know I sound like a complete broken record at this point, and people do not like me talking about this stuff sometimes, but it is what it is, man. They have just screwed us on a lot of levels, like just screwed themselves on a lot of levels. And I don't get it. I don't get why it's this hard for them, or why they're this lazy about it, or whatever the issue is. I don't get it.
Oh, weird. They're being trailed by cans and a banner that says "Just Married."
Cans.
Gamera's a movie that has no end in sight. No going home. This is now your life.
I can't think of anyone more deserving than a good old Irish monster funeral song, huh? So let's throw back another round of Jiger, wailing like a banshee and spoiling for a fight. She shot him full of arrows and stabbed him in the neck.
These camera moves are a little weird.
Baby in his lung and beat him all the heck.
So raise a glass and shed a tear and roar, roar, full roar. To the monster heart who isn't living anymore. Choir was singing Galway Bay. So raise a glass and shed a tear and roar, roar, full roar. To the monster heart who isn't living anymore. So let the devil's whistle blow and make a
Man, the whole segments of the episode were like better than the riff to a degree.
So I'm leaving you in charge of the experiment.
Oh boy.
Me? Who's gonna?
So I had said previously, I think I said it on stream the other day when this had already premiered and I hadn't seen it yet, on Monday, that Munchie is the only episode to this day where I'm like, that's the only one worth buying. That's the only one that I think the full episode is actually worth your time. And someone was like, Gamera? I was like, that's the best episode, and it's obviously then the best Jonah episode of the season. Someone's like, well, Gamera's really good. You shouldn't say that yet, or whatever. No, it's still Munchie. Like, absolutely still is. It's fascinating to me because I feel like a couple of the host segments were better than the majority of the riff. I think the riff was fine. I think it's kind of in line with like the first two Jonah episodes where It's fine. There's a few strong ones in there, but like nothing fantastic. The second half is definitely better than the first half. Which is funny because sometimes it's the second half of the movies that can drag more, like in the Joel one, Jesus Christ. So that's kind of what I was worried about, but actually it did improve by the second half for some reason. So that's nice. Like, it didn't get weaker as it went on, but it was never particularly strong. There's a few good references to the OG Gamera stuff, and a few good jokes here and there, but nothing where I'm like we couldn't come up with better stuff and references in them. It just didn't stand out. Like, Munchie had a bunch of stuff that was genuinely really funny or genuinely stood out and was good, like, in terms of a riff. Now, granted, that movie, I think, gives you even more to work with, but I'm like, these guys, like, they just... From what I'm remembering, now it's been a while since I've seen it, I think I might have even preferred Yongari as Jonah's crew doing a kaiju movie. Reptilicus is easily the worst because it's very boring, like the riff is, and they riff, like, every single effing shot in the film is riffed, so it's, like, too much. But this one, like I said, it had good moments, and it definitely gets a little better as it goes on. Nothing super special, though. Again, if you're a huge fan of the Gamera episodes, you want to complete the Gamera collection, then yes, do watch this one or get it or whatever. But overall, I'd be like, I mean, again, if you want, I guess, but it would not be a priority for me, or like in my recommendations. Again, I think it's easily Munchie, that's the best. Now, I would pick this over probably any other one that isn't Munchie. Hang on a minute, let me double check the list so I'm not going crazy. Oh yeah, if it's Santo, Robot Wars, yes, get it over those. I don't think it's a ton better, but it is better. And it's Gamera, so you're at least getting that out of the movie anyway. Yes, better than Beyond Atlantis, better than both Emily's episodes. It's better than Joel's in the fact that it's consistent. Or if anything improves, whereas Joel's, the segments are like the segments in the storyline are just not good, and the riff starts out pretty strong for this crew, and then goes off the effing rails, it just goes off the deep end. So basically, it's like, do you want a movie that's like pleasant, gets a little better as it goes on, or do you want one that gives you a lot of hope and then snuffs it out? So I guess that's up to you. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this episode is like, you gotta go get it type of thing. One thing I do need to say is, there's a few things. One is, like, I'm sure I left all of it in there, but it's like, can the silhouettes at least not glitch out, guys? What the hell? Like, I don't understand. So that was already an issue. Two things. Let's get to we'll talk about the host segments real quick, because that was mostly about the riff is what I was talking about. The opening with Choose Your Own Adventure, super cute, super fun. I loved those books as a kid. I had a bunch of them that we would get at like half-price books, so that was really fun having Jonah read to them, read them that book and let them have those choices. I think that the weakest segment was probably like the one about the expo, but the joke of him being like, oh, until he's like lost in the mists of time, and Crow being like, wait, what? Like, that was pretty good. I know I'm missing one in my mind. Which one am I missing? I literally just watched it. Oh, the one where, whoops, stop. The one with Tom teaching them how to speak like the little girl. It starts off funny. I think it ends funny with Jonah having the rocks come out of his mouth. But I think it plays a little long when you just have them, like, saying complete nonsense. I'm like, the joke was, like, you can kind of tell, but kind of not. And I'm like, it just got a little long-winded for me by then. But the ending with the rocks was funny. And so, we gotta talk about the skeleton one, though. I know this is, like, never gonna come up again. And I'm already angry that it won't. Because I guarantee it won't. Because this show doesn't actually continue the things it should. It continues all this bullshit that it shouldn't worry about. Having Jonah be like half animatronic and have robot parts inside, I'm like, that could be hilarious. You could do so much with that. You could do so much with that as like a joke, like that doesn't have to be a storyline, but just running gag in the series. And I guarantee they're gonna drop it, but it would be so good. Like, having him come to terms with this existential crisis, have these jokes, even just having the bots, like, joke about it, would be really, really funny. Doesn't make sense that Jonah didn't know they all had bones, seeing as how one of the first things he did on the ship was, like, fix them up and make them do cool stuff. But I'll take that. Whatever. Who cares? The most important thing is that Jonah is half Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, which is the most bizarre effing turn the show could have ever taken. And I'm like, no wonder he is perfect. He's a robot. It's so effing funny. I'm like, you could actually do jokes about this through the show, and I don't think they will. And I'm like, cowards! Because that would be so funny if you made it that he's more robot than the robots in a way, or just as much robot, I guess, as the robots. Would be hilarious. I thought that was actually really, really funny. I thought that was a really funny idea, and y'all know how much I simp for this character, so of course he isn't, even within being a fictional character, he isn't real. He's, like, not actually a human, but a robot, and I'm like, of course he is. Of course, the guy where I'm like, I'll simp for this fictional character, it's like, well, guess what? He ain't even human, at least not all the way. Stop trying to make Kinga more than she is. Okay? They open it with Pearl being like, let's go hang out. And Kinga's all of a sudden really into it. Already doesn't make sense, because in this, take out Netflix. I don't give a shit what happened at Netflix, let's say. Let's pretend that those whole segments don't exist, and we're just looking at this season. But there's an episode where she clearly is like, Grandma, leave me alone, I want nothing to do with you right now, I'm on to bigger and better things, whatever. Okay. Suddenly, Pearl's like, let's take a trip together, and she's like, yeah, okay, and then she's like getting all like, Grandma, please approve of me again. And I'm like, you just didn't care like 2 episodes ago. So why do you care now? That's all I want to know, just within this season. Why has her arc changed? That's all I want to... I feel like that's a completely legitimate question, because I'm not even hanging it up on the Netflix episodes. I'm talking just in this season now. Why did you go from Grandma, leave me alone to like, oh, Grandma, I love you so much, please give me attention, like back in season 11. Even if you just look at these last, like, 3 episodes, that does not make sense. You make it make sense, please. That's all I ask, is, like, make a character consistent, for God's sake. Secondly, though, and this is the more important thing for me, Pearl says, oh, you're, like, doing such a thing like you're just absolutely cementing the Forrester legacy. You're so great, honey, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut up. How dare you? Because here's the thing. Kinga, I don't think this is Felicia Day's fault, but she's not really that funny, and neither is Max. They're not, which is sad because I know they can both be funny people, but they're not funny in these roles. They are not even close to any of the other Mad iterations that came before them. And the fact that you have Pearl, who, Mary Jo is fantastic as a Mad, telling the other, like, the most recent, oh, you're doing such a great job, like, in character. I'm like, that's not even true. And the thing that got me is she's like, oh, man, 3 experiment people, 3 captives, that's incredible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shut up. It wasn't even Kinga's idea. This was not Kinga's idea. If Kinga had come up with it, I'd still say your writers are patting themselves on the back, and they are. But being like, isn't our Mad just like the best Forrester, keeping the family legacy alive more strongly than anyone else ever did? Shut up. Like, don't even play that. You wrote it that way, first of all. But secondly, I hate when any show pats itself on the back that much. Because they also did it with one of the jokes earlier this season where they're like, nice. And I'm like, don't even. Like, stop. Don't do that. Like, you know, if there are ways where you can have characters be like, good one, and it's funny because it's so cringe, or it's funny because it's showing off their dynamic, but the way they did it in that didn't feel like that. It felt like, you know, wasn't that a funny joke? And I just like, stop it. But with this one, it really feels like, let's pat ourselves on the back. And I'm like, you can't even pat Kinga on the back for this, because it wasn't her idea. It was Dr. Cabal's idea. So it's like, if you're gonna say, oh, you have 3 and you're the best Forrester ever, you're such a strong legacy to the family, blah, 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 then at least have it all be her idea. Because at least then, yeah, you're still patting yourselves on the back for something you came up with for this character, but at least it was her idea and she executed it. At least then, the character wouldn't be technically wrong that this character is doing the most. But it is, because it wasn't her idea. So, I hate that. I think that was terrible. I think that was awful. That, to me, the worst part of the episode's right at the beginning, when they're like, Kinga, you're so fucking amazing. And I'm like, she really isn't. She's not funny or entertaining for the most part. Not Felicia Day's fault, but the character just is not that good. And then, it again, inconsistent, even in just this season, even just the last, like, 3 episodes. Inconsistent, unexplained inconsistency. It wasn't her idea in the first place. You're like, oh, you're the best you're doing so well. Stop. Then put your money where your mouth is, because you really aren't. You really aren't with this character. And to just imply that Pearl thinks, oh, you're such a great Forrester, honey. I'm like, that's not even true in any sense. And you as the writers are patting yourselves on the back by having an established character from 25 years ago, start jerking you off for your writing of this character who does not deserve to be part of, like, this legacy based on how you have written her thus far. That's what pissed me off the most in this episode, was like, you can't take an established character and have them congratulate one of your new creations, especially because even in canon, she's not the one who had this idea. It's not even her idea! So that was what really pissed me off. To have Pearl, who is not your original character, not Joel's original character, nor anyone else writing the current show's original character, be like, oh, Kinga, you're so beautiful and perfect, when she isn't, not in a storyline way, not in a comedian way. That did piss me off. And at first I was considering not ending on the negative of it, but no, it's because that kind of shows the, like, tooting your own horn that this crew kind of does sometimes, and I don't like it. But I'm like, that's really... Like, imagine if I entered, like, riff tracks, let's say, and I became a riff tracks riffer, and I only riffed for... How many episodes has it been? Like 27? For like 27 shorts or like a mix of like dozen shorts and a dozen movies, whatever, with like Bridget Mary Joe. And all of a sudden, Bridget Mary Joe were like, you are just the most prolific riffer that there's ever been. What? Like this new kid on the block, and who, and especially if I wasn't anywhere near as good as these people, it'd be like, dude, that's weird, right? When you put it that way, you bring in a fan or you bring in a new person and they do a fraction of what anyone else has done, and then you write in the script for the character or person that you introduced, that you created. That's like if I wrote the bit and was like, oh, isn't Faith just like the best new riffer that could ever have come into the studio? That's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. And it's gross. Even if it was me, it'd be super gross. I don't like that. So they need to get off that high horse and actually look at, maybe making the character interesting or funny before they start patting themselves on the back like that. Also, one of her experimental people isn't even hers. It was her dad's, and she just stole him through time. So, anyway, I didn't mean to end that angrily, but that pissed me off, and that really set me on a sour note for the episode that I really tried to shake. And eventually, I was able to, again, first host segment with the guys helped, because it was the choose your own adventure. I'm like, okay, that's what I want. I just want cute, fun moments in the host segments like this. And so that did help me, get back into, normal mode. But again, the riff itself, not anything super spectacular. I'd probably put it, I guess, technically second to Munchie, but not by a lot. Jonah being a robot, I think, is pretty funny, and I wish they would continue it. I doubt that they will, but we'll see. That'd be nice, but we'll see. The song at the end was fun. It's a friggin' million times better than that terrible one they did on Emily's episode. I know some people loved that one, and I'm just like, it is just irritating. That rap did not work. Because even think about it this way, Every Country Has a Monster is not actually a rap. It's a song. It has a little bit of a rap at the beginning. It's a song. But that was a rap, and I hated it. But this was fun, having the Irish drinking song. The only thing that was weird to me was the way it was shot, all the quick zooms and stuff. I'm like, calm down. Either do smash cuts or stop. Just the zooms were a little weird. You have no set. It's literally a 5x5 little box, and just zoom, 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 zoom. And that didn't work for me so much. But the song itself was really fun. Everyone put their all into it. I liked all their little suits and stuff. So, that was fun. So it also ended on a good note as well, in terms of that. I am not looking forward to Max being the only one doing the introductions and stuff. I assume something will happen. Someone else will be there. I don't know. Because he doesn't even have the skeleton crew anymore, so, like, what's the point? If it was maybe Growler and Waverly, which would be kind of fun, so maybe they'll do that, but we'll see. But in terms of Jonah and the Bots, it did open strong, it did end strong in terms of host segments. So, and I think that's kind of what puts it over the edge of, like, Sento and Robot Wars for me, is, like, yeah, the riffs are, like, fine, or like, they're all right, but these actually have decent host segments overall, at least for the guys, that I did enjoy. So that's my thoughts on that. Munchie is still easily the best bang for your buck and use of your time. Same thing with the Make a Meal in 20 Minutes shorts versus Joel's short that I forgot about for a minute because I recorded that, a little while ago versus this. So yeah, I would say check it out to be a completionist for Gamera. Otherwise, it's not a big deal if you missed it, but so that's all I gotta say about that. So, I will see you guys soon. I will be streaming as usual, obviously, and, I'm so behind on getting these edited that by the time this is up, the next episode, Batwoman might even be up already, and then I'll already have seen that, so we'll see. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.